Hello my dear viewers. Today is April 25th, and I want to dedicate this video to events that, in fact, I have been waiting for a very long time. This morning, 5 Ukrainian railway junctions were hit simultaneously within a few hours. Moreover, first of all, strikes were made on substations, without which the traction train of the electrified railway is not operational. The main lines of the railway were electrified, respectively, the trains set in motion electric locomotives. And today 5 substations were hit. Several dozen railway passenger trains were immediately delayed for several hours. Railway communication in part of the territory of Ukraine was paralyzed. But by 13.30, the leadership of the Ukrainian railways reported that they had managed to localize the problem and the passenger trains would be sent. As for freight trains, there is no talk of restoring traffic yet. I want to say the following about this. If you look closely at the map of Ukraine's railway communication, which roads are electrified and which are not, and the draft trains of Ukrainian railways, we will see that the vast majority of transportation is carried out using electric traction. As of 2020, Ukrainian railways served more than 1,600 electric locomotives and about 300 mainline diesel locomotives. Why is this so important, and why am I emphasizing this essential detail? The fact is that today the bulk of military transportation is carried out precisely by rail because it is very long and expensive to transport by road. The problem is that there is less and less diesel fuel in Ukraine, and attacks on fuel depots are making themselves felt. This means that by paralyzing the work of railway transport, the Russian command can achieve the main task to paralyze the armed forces of Ukraine in the matter of the strategic deployment of troops, which is extremely important in view of the upcoming very important military operations, and not only on the Donbas front. And in order to paralyze the Ukrainian railways, and at the same time, get by with a minimum number of rocket attacks, it was decided to hit the substations. Let's imagine a situation where it was possible to put out of action all or most of the substations and 1,600 diesel locomotives will stop without traction because there will be no electricity. They can be replaced by 300 diesel locomotives. Moreover, one must understand that 300 diesel locomotives are already serving some parts of the Ukrainian railways. Another part is already under the control of Russian troops, for example, in the city of Kherson, Zaporozhye region, and was also put out of action during the fighting in Chernihiv and Sumy regions. Now the question arises, what can be done to replace electric locomotives? Because the main advantage of diesel locomotives is that they can go anywhere. If there is no electric traction, diesel fuel was poured into the diesel locomotive and drove off. And the specificity of Ukrainian roads is that it will no longer be possible to replace electric traction. Moreover, the European Union can no longer help. The fact is that the width of the railway track in Europe and Ukraine is different, and, accordingly, it is impossible to take and bend European diesel locomotives. This means that if the Russian command continues to strike at substations of the Ukrainian railways, then this may be a much more effective solution than hitting railway bridges. In general, we will see how the situation develops further. In fact, if the Russian command really decided to block the Ukrainian railways, then we will not wait long. Such blows must continue constantly, then they will give the desired effect. That's what I wanted to tell in this video. Goodbye.